Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And of course, many of you watch it on Friday morning at 7 a.m. and Saturdays and Sundays at 2 p.m. And many of you are watching it on the internet, and a large group is still listening to it on KSLO. Correct. And 105.3 in Simmsport, Louisiana. And I'm kind of laughing. We're doing something a little unusual. We're actually taping on a Tuesday afternoon late. And I had a lot of problems finding a set of keys, didn't I? And in fact, I didn't find them. I had to send scouts out to find them.
A borrowed set of keys, which made it worse.
That made it worse. If it would have been my set of keys, it would have been fine. But Dale Vidrine and his wife Kathy were kind enough to loan me a trailer. And I knew the keys were not lost. That I knew.
Yeah, definitely.
And
you'd never lose anything.
No, but misplaced it.
That's correct.
And they were right where I put them. I put them in the little pilot auto car that we used to pull pulling back a motorhome when I went over to the fishing rodeo a couple of weeks ago, and put all kind of keys in there, and that one stayed. It's a long console. deep console, and anyhow. If I look all beat up and tired and all, it takes a lot of stress. This started at 4 o'clock this afternoon on the way here to tape the program, and it's now 20 minutes to 6.
And just imagine, if you'd had to have all those keys made again, it'd have cost you at least $15, $20. I don't know what you'd have done.
Well, I don't know where you'd have got them for that. But there was the set of keys to the doors would have been simple.
Yeah. But you might have to change a lock, and that would be a problem.
Well, no, it's a lock that locks the trailer hitch. It's a special lock, and it's got a little round key that you use. It's not a insert key. Right. Anyhow, I'm worn out, but we're going to do the show. And I think we have a lot of good material
I hope so.
for the program today.
I hope it's interesting.
And anyhow, this is my sidekick, Andrew.
Good morning.
And I'm going to the little camp in Winfield, and Jude is waiting on me, and Jimmy, and
he's still at the office. Jude.
Yeah, at the office. And then Jude and Jude's waiting on me. But Ray Bello and Jimmy Prados, and I think Charles
Kessinger?
No, well, probably Charles Kessinger.
Already there.
Charles Cummings.
Okay.
I saw him at noon having lunch at the Palace Cafe. Good morning to everybody at the Palace right now.
Yep, if you go to Palace or the courthouse, you see Charles.
You'll see Charles, and he's a new member of the club. I don't know if he's ever been or not, but he's planning on coming this weekend. I don't think he can go tomorrow because he's a working man, he said. And I couldn't go either. And David and Belinda and Lisa said, you have to go, and you were there, and you seconded that motion. Yep. And I really wasn't planning on going, but anyhow, enough about my going on the trip. I had a nice phone call from a friend, Miss Theory. Her son is Father Jude Theory, who I guess one of his first, if not his first assignment, was St. Anne's, a Catholic church in Mamou, Louisiana. Well, she called to let me know that he's been reassigned to Our Lady of Perpetual Help in New Iberia.
It's that time of the year. In May, they start making the assignments. He won't actually move there, I guess, until about another month or so, I'm sure.
The way she talked, he's there. And we have a lot of listeners and viewers over in New Iberia. You got a real hard-working young man, from the Lawtell, Swords, Mallet area. Cool, that's that whole
covers
area.
The whole triangle.
The whole triangle right there. And
not as far as Ficataye.
Of course, something big that has happened, and it's not the flood, because the flood, we'll talk about that in a little while, but this tornado that hit Joplin, Missouri, it's not the worst that ever happened, but it certainly is going to rate right into one of the worst.
Worse in one place with one tornado, probably. You know, they've had spells where more people were killed with dozens of them, but one tornado hit one town, I don't think it's been any worse than the last 100 years. I mean, that's as bad as it gets.
And it flattened it. And
hit a hospital to start, St. John's Hospital, right out the gate, and killed a bunch of people in the hospital before they began. That's mine, not yours. Right out the gate. So it wasn't getting any better as it went. People that were in the community,
It never died down. The strength, when it came down and started, it just
stayed at
kept that
strength.
same strength. 100 and maybe 190 miles an hour?
I saw the Catholic Church there was just the 4 main beams that hold the church together. That's all that was left was
I
the 4
didn't
main
see
beams.
that.
The school was gone. The rectory was gone.
Well, Father Gitros, where are you going to say Mass this weekend?
I am going to send some money to Catholic Charities in
Yep.
South Missouri.
They're picking up
so
some
if you
money. I
Get
saw
on the
that.
internet and look, Catholic Charities, South Missouri.
We like to have
We're trying
fun for
help.
those of you that may be viewing it for the first time. We stayed a little longer on certain subjects, but we've got some good pictures. But let's talk a little bit about the flood.
Yes.
The flood, the good news is that so far it's not predicted to be as bad as first thought to be.
For St. Andre Parish.
Yes.
Because some places will still get a lot of water.
St. Francisville, did you see the water
It ain't
in?
good.
I
But
didn't.
They're on that side, the river. You see, everybody to the east side of the Chaffalay is where they're catching a lot of the heat right now.
Like Natchez.
Correct. Natchez,
Oh, Peter Trosglass houses.
Vidalia,
all that.
Vicksburg,
Did you
on the other
see?
side of Mississippi.
Did you see how they? That's the first time I saw those big boxes. What they call them? You know what they are?
Yeah, it begins with an H.
Whatever.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
and
It's
that was
something
the
they use
first place.
overseas.
First place I saw
Military.
them used was on that Vidalia, that beautiful, beautiful walkway, and that beautiful hotel that I've stayed in several times.
They put that box and they just fill it
and
with
they
sand to
had
the
big,
top.
big medical clinic built right next to them.
They're using that for the temporary levee. I say temporary, the new small levee in Krotz Springs. Those same type of baskets
we got
are
some
there.
of we got
That's-
some of those.
They were
Good.
using a different style one, but wasn't as strong, and they pull those out and they put those new heavy duty ones in.
I've got some pictures to show after a while of some trustees from the St. Andrew Parish Sheriff's Office, along with one of the deputies. That
Filling
have
the
been
small bags.
the small bags. They fill them there and they load them onto your vehicle, and they're putting in 16, 18 hours a day. Can you imagine? I was advised that since I had got a bunch of them, maybe it'd be a good idea to bring a bag of sandwiches. And well, I said, you bet, I did it. And we'll show you a picture after a while of that.
Let me stick some sponsors
Good
in real
sponsors.
quick. How about Benny's Supermarket? If you're trying to make a sandwich this weekend, Benny's Supermarket, you can get all the stuff you need, from the roast beef and everything. It's all there, the ham, all your different supplies. They've got the 7-day-a-week deli if you want to go heavier with some rice and gravy. They got the salads there as well. Great wine selection, beer selection. They've got Blake's brew house in the back, which is full of 80-something different flavors is what I saw. More than Baskin Robbins has of ice cream, they got in beer. Go by Benny's right now. Miss Mary's gift shop right now, of course, for graduates type gifts, and Little Benny Sports Shack. A lot of kids are going to work out this summer for football and for baseball and get pumped up. And summertime is when they bulk up to be ready for the fall sports. So go by Little Benny Sports Shack at Benny Supermarket.
One more.
One more. How about Carl's Thrifty Way? All your medicinal needs. Medicinal, boy, I like that word. If you got to get your prescriptions filled, Carl's can handle that for you. If you got to sit with your pharmacist to ask questions, maybe you're concerned about certain things. This one feels like my stomach's a little bit irritated. Can I drive with this one? Can I work with this? What should I know? Sometimes you're in that doctor's office. The doctor's in a rush. You're in a rush. You don't get to ask all those questions. But when you're at Carl's, their staff can help you. And they got gifts there, monogramming, gift wrapping is free, all sorts of different gift ideas and home decorating ideas at Carl's Thrifty Way.
Okay. What about the LSUE softball girls team? Huh?
I saw former Mayor Curtis Joubert, biggest supporter of LSUE.
Oh, he is. He's
I'm not
there.
going to say there's anybody else there that's close to him. I mean, they all might support LSU. He is the proponent. He told me, he says, those girls,
You're going to get us cut off the air over there, Bob.
Look, he told me, he says, those girls don't only play baseball good, he says they carry themselves in just a great way and represent the community. He says, and some beautiful girls. He was telling me that
Now,
this
what
week.
about the boys? They're out of it this year?
They went all the way up to about the last 2 rounds, and they got knocked out right near the end. But they won like 2 different titles.
Yeah.
There's the boys too. So the boys had a tremendous year. The girls have had this incredible year. It just says a lot about the LSU community. And I told Mayor Curtis Joubert, I said, it speaks a lot for the community coming together to support it. Because when I went to high school in Port Barre, a lot of what made our football program so successful was the sponsors and the groups that helped push it, those booster clubs.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing at LSU. You see the booster club over there pushing it up. Vonche, I talked to Tom Vonche as well. I mean, they were pumping up LSU.
I'm going to mention a few of our deaths of people that we knew. Miss Mariana Curville, Mrs. A.B. Curville Sr.'s
Correct.
Wife. I think she was 88 years old. Mm-hmm. She was diagnosed, I think it was Alzheimer's, in year 2000. Mm-hmm. And so 11 years the family has taken care of her at her home. I mean, they gave her the best of the best treatment. Mm-hmm. And I was able to visit with the family today. And of course, her husband was the founder of Kerrville Toyota. Mm-hmm. And I remember we'd go over to the little coffee shop next to where Royal Motors was years ago. Mm-hmm. And he was a salesman for Royal Motors. And right. One day they started laughing that he had left them and he was going to take on some foreign what was A.B. thinking about? Going to mortgage probably his farm and his nice home he had in the country and everything, put everything on the line to go get a Toyota. And we couldn't pronounce the word, really. Right. I mean, it was different. It was brand new. And look with his vision. And of course, she was always by his side is what I'm trying to lead up to. And the family has really done well for not just the family, but for the community. We want to thank them. And she was something. And then Mr. Jerry, better known as Neg Laverne, he passed away. Can't say that I knew him, but reading in the obituary, I did see a son, Dale right. Laverne, and his wife Betty, who I know well, and then Richard Laverne and his wife Janet, and then 2 daughters, Jerry Perry and her husband Sonny, and also Wendy, better known as Peanut Shorty, and her husband Gary, all of Opelousas, and a number of grandkids. And then Mrs. Louise Virginia Bellarmine, who died at age 95. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine? Quite a, and of course the two sons, Blue and Michael, both live in Grand Coteau, run the little grocery store. Right grocery store. Sometimes we sneak in there during retreat. You know, I used to do that.
Some people do.
Yes, some people do. And then of course one of her daughters is Margaret Brinkhouse, whose husband is Orman, our former state senator, and of course our good friends, and Cynthia Bellarmine. Mm-hmm. Our sympathies, and we'll get to one more, and that's Raymond E. Fontenot, better known as Raymond Fontenot. You want to say something?
Well, no, you finish
okay.
that before I do what I'm going to do.
Age 77, had been diagnosed with cancer probably a few years by now. Correct. And a memorial service was held today, Tuesday, mm-hmm. Over in Eunice. And I know Jimmy Prados and most of the people who worked under him when he was superintendent was going to attend that, and they left after that to go over to the camp. Mm-hmm. And let's get one more. Miss Patricia Prince. Mm-hmm. Can't say that I knew Mrs. Prince. She was 69, but her husband is one of the finest guys I ever met. He's a prince of a man. Mm-hmm. And I'm speaking of Mr. Jim Prince, and he was with Stone Energy until he retired. I understand he has since retired. My deepest sympathies to Mr. Jim and his family.
KSLO, we'll see you on the other side of 3.
Okay, one more
my
death.
Time for me there, Matt, so
one more death, and I'll talk about Colonel Gaspard Sr., mm-hmm. and his body was also at La Font Ordwin when I went on Tuesday morning, and I visited with the family there. I had met him when I was taking care of the grass before we actually developed the subdivision, but I owned it and had to go and do the shredding over there. And I would leave my tractor next door, and I can't think of Mrs. Gaspard told me today the name of the family that did allow me. Of course, he has since died, but anyhow, my deepest sympathies on the death of Mr. Gaspard. They live right there on Highway 182, right across from Megan Drive, almost across.
How about this? This weekend we've got the Music and Market Series is going on, and it's Corey Broussard